What's good, people? This is the Rap Roundtable. Your boy Jaw here, Sincere the Rap Snob, Diddy the Balance, the homie Mace. We just want to make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment, help us get our numbers up. We're trying to get 2,000 subs, 5,000. Y'all know how this go. If y'all think we're good and y'all love the content, some of y'all always say, yo, how come y'all don't have more views? It's because y'all don't sub. So make sure y'all do that and tap in with us. Peace.
The Rap Roundtable.
Hovengers, assemble.
Chill. Don't throw me in that label, man. Relax.
Relax. According to our subscribers, we are Hovengers. We're the Hovenger podcast. And Diddy made a comment that made waves. It broke Twitter yet again. People were upset, throwing their tweets up, getting real defensive. But to the point of the matter is, Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs says that JayZ single-handedly or single-footedly in this case filled the shoes of the late great Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls on the heels of Biggie weekend in New York City. This is the Rap Roundtable. I'm your boy Jarv alongside Sincere the Rap Snob, alongside Dini the Balance, alongside the homie Mace. You can find the Rap Roundtable right here on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and also Cash App. All donations are appreciated. Tap in with us. The donators who have done so thus far, we appreciate y'all.
Salute to y'all.
But to the news, fellas. You know we don't show up unless there's news to talk about. We just don't do this for fun. Diddy said what he said, y'all. And that's a really loud statement in 2022, especially on the internet. And
Puff got to chill, bro.
Puff got to chill. Sincere, jump in, bro.
Big love.
Do you agree with Diddy's claims about who filled the shoes of two legends?
Yo, Puff really got to chill, man. I understand you in the room, you're in the Twitter space room with Hove speaking. We got to give him his flowers. I understand all that. Mm-hmm. See, we're not, I've been called many things. A fake Nas fan.
Yeah.
Whatever, because I give Hove his flowers. I give Hove his flowers all day, every day. All day, every day, right? If we want to have the conversation that Hove or Jay might have filled Big's shoes, both from Brooklyn, they collaborated, they had similar vibes. We could have that conversation, right? Mm. But the Pac conversation, Hove filling Pac's shoes, that's a whole different thing. And I don't know what Diddy might have been smoking or sniffing or whatever, but he was bugging the fuck out. But he went overboard with that. He went
BTFO? Overboard. That's a big one.
Because listen, look, Pac's content and energy completely different from Jay's. Right. Completely different, right? If we think about conscious Pac, we could say Nas kind of held that energy down in the mainstream, of the big stars of the 90s, right? Mm-hmm. If we want to talk about the more, hood, rough, aggressive energy, we can't act like DMX didn't happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? DMX came out right in 98, right a year, 2 years after. And he took a lot of energy. If we want to talk about West Coast shit, Dre took some time off, right? And the firm didn't really, hit like that. But in '99, he came back with Snoop. He came back with the Dog Pound. He made it Exhibit a star. You know what I mean? And then Eminem came. So we can't just give all the credit to Hov. Give him his flowers, but it can't. Jay's not the end all be all of saving rap culture in the 90s. But
wait, do we know? Here, bro. Oh, damn. Do we? Yikes. Do we know hold on, Sin. All right. I'm coming back to you. Yeah. Do we know the context of what he said it in, when he said it? Was he speaking about something specifically, or was this a sweeping statement? He filled the shoes.
Nah, Jay was talking about. Jay was talking about Big and the void that was filled. I don't know, the sound clip that I heard, I don't know if somebody had said something before that, but Jay was saying that, he was honored to be part of, the people in the culture that filled those shoes, right? And he takes that. He takes that onus, right? And then Diddy came, because again, the conversation was about Big, right? Mm-hmm. But obviously, when you talk about Big, Pac comes into the picture or whatever, and they were just talking about like the void that was left when they both passed away, like 6 months apart, roughly, right? Mm-hmm. And so Puff comes in and jumps out the window, like, "Yo, you fill those shoes though," as if he's the only one that held it down in the entire culture. Like, it's crazy to me. Fuck out of here.
Wow. Dini, your thoughts on what Diddy said and Sincere's very aggressive pushback against that team.
You gotta follow that up, Diddy.
You gotta follow that. I wasn't doing it.
So basically, shout out to my brother Sim for his statement. But this is what I have to say. I heard the statement and I thought exactly what you thought. Mm-hmm. I thought he just said, "Yo, I'm giving all the props to Hov. Fuck what everybody else is doing. Nas, Snoop, Woo, all the X. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that came through kicked in the door." But bro, I think he meant it as far as on both fronts, on both levels, the street shit, the party shit. I think how did the line go? I'm leading the league in about 6 contentious categories right now.
6 statistical categories, yeah.
Okay.
Most consistent.
Okay.
Best flows.
Most charisma.
In my interviews. Who else filled the shoes the way he did, bro? Who's been more consistent? An album damn near every year. You can't name another artist of that stature that did that, bro.
Somebody probably yelling Nas right now, you know?
Nas was gone for a while. Shout out to mom was going through issues. Man had to take time off to handle his family issues. It is what it is.
96 or 99. I don't remember us feeling the same way we felt about Kendrick being gone for a long time, but I digress. Go ahead.
The game felt bro. You had to go back to the Kendrick.
Come on.
The cape is flapping right now.
I know we're not comparing 1990s.
We're not.
Space to 2020.
You're right.
I'm just rubbing that from the memory banks. Like, it just no one's done it kind of the way Hov has done it. You get what I'm saying? Whether it's the party shit, the street shit, the anthems, the moments, like these are moments, bro. Hov's albums, Hov's music is like ingrained in culture. He's the most quotable MC.
But Diddy, you talking about late 90s, early 2000s. Diddy said this in 2022, bro.
Right.
What is does Hov not regard that though? Does he not earn that? Even the only slap away 444. That it's really fucking beautiful, bro.
I'm just saying specifically with the artists that were mentioned. Like, Jay he's never been what we consider a quote unquote conscious artist, or even really have any conscious songs. You know what I mean? Like, we could talk about like the overtly conscious militant artists, and he like that aside, like, we're not talking about no PE, Dead Prez, or nothing like that. But even like dabbling in those topics the way Nas had, the way Pac had, you know what I mean? Or even like really feeling that the vulnerability that like a DMX had, you know what I mean?
But was he talking? Was he talking about music though? You get what I'm saying? Maybe he was. I didn't feel like it was just music. I felt like he was talking about, like, Pac had a movement. Pop had a whole shit that was just follow him, kind of the way Hov had a whole shit of follow him. Like you see when it was Big and Pac, when Hov was at his prime, bro. Like who was Hov's counterpart, bro? There was no Pac.
I mean, DMX for some time, Ja Rule for some time,
Nas,
50 Cent for some time,
for a moment.
Early,
and I understand what you're saying. He got through all those rivals. He got through all those eras, and he still came out to be what he is today. I understand
J.O.
that.
Felony, you know what I mean?
Come on.
Wow.
Like,
I understand that, but
I guess it's the perspective. I did think about it from that angle. I thought about it as far as just like musically. You know what I'm saying? And I thought about it from
Diddy would have to clear it up. Diddy he would have to clear that statement up a little bit and let us know what he meant, because like the way it came off, yeesh. Mace, what do you think?
For Sin to say "get the fuck out of here" or bugging the fuck out in the same
completely
sentence,
just disregard.
Yeah, Mace.
This is interesting, you know, because I felt on the fence when I first heard this statement. I'm not gonna lie. I like you, Dini. I felt the same kind of feelings that Sin felt, because I kind of, you know, zeroed in on what they meant musically, and I was like, nah, like no way, Hove.
And you're the biggest Pac fan at the table,
right? I'm the Pac guy, so you know, Hove Pac comparison doesn't make any sense to me on the surface level. You know what I mean? But
context sets in.
Then context sets in. Dini's right. So when I really think about it, like, you know, when Magic and Bird retired, you know what I mean? Jordan held it down. He didn't pass like Magic. He didn't shoot like Bird, you know, but he still was able to hold it down. And what he did was take it to a new level. You know what I mean? Not only did he fulfill a lot of the things that Biggie and Pac wanted to do. Biggie wanted the Black Album. The Black Album was an original Biggie idea, if y'all don't know. Like, Biggie wanted to release the album with no cover and no title after he released the Triple album. That's his idea. You know what I mean? Brooklyn Mint clothing store that we all know Biggie wanted to open. Hove was the one, you know, with Dame, with Biggs, of course, to really make the clothing line a staple. You know what I mean? He did a lot of things that Pac wanted to do. Pac really wanted to invest in the community, to teach. You know what I mean? Hove, while people talk about him, maybe his content as a rapper, when you look at Hove in 2022, it's kind of like everything Pac wanted fulfilled. You know what I mean? Like, if you really think about it, helping the community out. You know, I just heard that Rock Nation has a legal team to help people get out. They just got a law passed, you know, to help rappers not get rappers for their lyrics. This is helping the community. So when you talk about, you know, he took it to, you know, if you don't feel like musically he may have represented them both, I feel like the space in hip hop that they held, he held it for years. And not only that, he took, you know, for a long while, Biggie and Pac were the max level that you could reach as a rapper. Hove is the one that took it to a new level. Now you want to be Hove. You know what I mean? So when I look at Held It Down, I try to not look at it as too of a you know, exactly what's going on type of situation. And I feel like Hove did hold it down, and he held it down and elevated it. You know what I'm saying? So that's
changed
why I'm
the
thinking
game.
about it. Facts. So how you feeling, Job?
Interesting takes here from Dini and Mace.
The chin scratch. That's work.
I mean, like, a part of me wonders if, like, how many shots at a DeLeon did he have before he made those comments? Like, at what time of the day was this morning? Was this morning before coffee? Morning after coffee? Or like what's going on? Was this like the end of the day? It was hot Saturday. You know, you mix the liquor with the hot weather. You tend to say some things.
I'm nice.
He seen Hove, was like, yo, this is my guy right here. Sometimes, like, you know, he who should remain nameless will have a couple of drinks and the Jameson and start telling us how much he loved us. This is my guy. This is my brother. We're gonna go so far. This podcast is unstoppable. You know what I mean? Y'all remember those moments? Don't laugh. Y'all remember. He told us independently how much he loved us, and this is, you guys are my brothers. And it usually happened after about 4 or 5 drinks, where he was just in his
straight.
He was in his bag. And I'm wondering if, like, was Puff in his bag in this moment, seeing Hove, felt the love, the spirit of Biggie Smalls, Biggie Day in New York City and Brooklyn, and he just said it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. On the flip side of that, like, I could see what Mason Dini is saying, because I guess I could look at it from a cultural perspective. As rappers, I don't know matter of fact, I do know. I don't believe that JayZ can fill anybody's shoes when it comes to Big or Pac. Like, no. Like, the way, especially Pac, like Pac, Mace can speak to it, the way Pac makes people feel about him, and a lot of that has to do with his messaging in his music. While we have Hovengers like myself, it was never that deep for us. A lot of our Hovenger behavior comes from playing defense for people who kind of front on JayZ. But I don't think he's filled the shoes. But I do agree that what May said about he elevated the space. He elevated what the apex of being a rapper can be. And if cultural relevance, if that's what Puff meant when he said he filled both of their shoes, culturally, there's no more relevant rapper than JayZ. You can't argue that. And it's like, again, I know the chat. I can see y'all there. I see y'all fingers mashing the keyboard right now.
Twitter fingers.
That I'm not saying anything that you don't already know. Cultural relevance. This is not about discography. This is not about lyrics. This is not about any of that. When it comes to being the most relevant rapper in 2022 and has been for a long time, is JayZ. Other rappers,
he's almost like the ambassador. You know what I mean?
Right.
Jay is the dude that made you feel like you could listen to a 50-year-old rap, bro. I didn't think I could do it back in the day.
Be clear, and I just want to make sure I get this off. Like, there's rappers who've made better albums. Nas is in another career renaissance as we speak. So don't get defensive. Drake is the most popular active rapper right now. Right behind them, you have Kendrick and Cole. These guys are currently the most active. Like, if this is the NBA, you got when we had the top 75, whatever, Jordan came. We know Jordan's in the room, but it's currently LeBron's league, and we know that. And that's how I look at Cole, Kendrick, and Drake. It's their league right now. But as far as like worldwide, the only person you could say who's more or arguably just as or more culturally relevant than JayZ is probably Snoop. And he don't even do some of the ambassador-like things that JayZ does. Like, to me, like, whereas you got LeBron doing the I Promise School and all his political things, and you got Shaq doing all of the commercials and whatnot. To me, that's how I look at JayZ and I look at Snoop. Like, Snoop is like the Shaquille O'Neal of rap. Like, he's doing all the commercials, getting all the endorsements. Jay's in the political space, and he makes it. And when he drops a verse, whether y'all like it or not, it breaks the internet. People are talking about him. People are angry or they're happy. There's think pieces culturally. He's the most relevant, and in that regard, I agree with Diddy. But musically, as a rapper, I completely disagree.
Yeah, facts.
Wow, no pushback. This is the first thing. I don't know what to do.
Like I said, I took it in context. I took it as far like I said, setting the trends, just changing the game, the way people look at music. Most people want to be like moguls, and everybody want to sign people now. Before everybody wanted to be the rapper, now you want to be the people that sign the rappers. Like, he made you really look at a whole different perspective of hip hop, bro.
I think also, to Mace's point, it's taken, over 2 decades for, and shouts to Hov for playing the long game. Like, I understand it, right? And I understood this back from the, what was it? Either the Blueprint or no, Black Album, when he said, I ain't been rhyming like Common since. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because he had the long game in his mind. It was like, yo, if I do this, if I make these hits, if I have these flows, if I go to Atlanta or the West Coast or Midwest or whatever, like I make, I ascend, I make all this money, and then once I make this money, then I could give that back to the community and the culture and do the things that he's doing now.
Well, real change.
But it's real. It's very. Within the context of the conversation, like it sounded like Puff was talking about in that moment, in that era. You know what I mean? Not as a whole, not from for the past 2 decades. You know what I mean? Within that window of time, like when the way it sounded like he was talking in that moment, and that's the shit that to me was like, yeah, I don't see that.
Yeah,
but
like John said with the drinks,
like, yeah.
Like, aside from just being a little saucy, he probably felt. Like I said earlier, he probably felt like, yo, this is like the last of me and him is the last of the Mohicans. Like, and he's at a different level than me because I can't put an album out in the free world. Want to go run and listen to it.
Well, he's going to.
Yeah, I'm talking about Diddy.
He's going to.
Of course.
Yeah,
but it ain't gonna
he has an album
in the whole tap.
In the word.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna listen to it for what it do.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I was like the cultural relevance bar. Like whenever that album that people, because the thing is that talk about him dropping an album that doesn't come from nowhere. Someone he told someone to put that out there. When that album drops, people are gonna rush it, they're gonna crush it, or they're gonna celebrate it. Even like
we'll be here talking about it, y'all.
Right? Mace talked about the law about like not using artists' lyrics to prosecute them. A lot of times we just surfing the web. Be clear, listeners. I think we pull topics from the sky. Everything we talk about, we see on the internet. There's nothing we make up here. Everything we talk about, we see, whether it's a tweet, a comment, whatever. anytime a rapper gets in a certain level of trouble, there's at least one person asking, what is JayZ gonna do? And that's what I mean when I say like cultural relevance. We're talking about everything that happened with YSL right now and the law that Jay's working on getting passed or whatever the case may be. They're using YSL's lyrics against them as we speak with these charges. And at some point, you're gonna have a conversation. Episode 8, when he got in bed with the NFL, myself, Diddy, and Sin, we had a whole debate about this. Like, nothing to do with music, but we're talking about a rapper getting in a political landmine next to the NFL and barely got out of that because he almost got canceled for that. Like, these are the things that he's doing. So I guess if Puff wasn't drunk off the deli, I hope that's what he meant. But I'm kind of agreeing with Sin that he was just handing like a whole rose garden of flowers,
like a whole,
yeah. And then he did say, Hove look big,
field of roses, bro.
Right. Look big.
And when I think about it, the story, as much as you know about Big and Pac, the thing that's biggest about them is unfulfilled promise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hove is the fulfilled promise. You know what I mean? He's the first billionaire. He's the 50-year-old rapper. He had the R&B wife. He's the first rapper to get married. You know what I'm saying?
And Roll Hall of Fame.
Rock Nation, Rockefeller. Like there's so many things that
jerseys.
Real shit. That's real shit, man.
He did so many things that we wanted to happen and that we wished happened with Big Pac.
That's real shit.
Hold on, you high right now, ain't you?
I'm having a good vibe, bro. I'm just
May's trying to get his point off, and you just trampling all over it, bro.
Oh, my fault, bro. My fault.
But go ahead, May.
Too.
Nah, that shit really, you know what I mean? It's just that, Hove is the one that was able to reach the promise of Big and Pac. You know what I mean? And ultimately,
Facts.
I feel like that's what
that
if I interpret what Puff says, that's how I'm taking it. You know
it was in that spirit. I see that.
Right.
I mean, you think about like the instruction manual, like from the late 90s. Like, if I'm a rapper, this is everything I would like to do. You go platinum, win awards, become super wealthy, get the R&B chick, get even more wealthier. Essentially,
run labels.
Oh, you can't forget the label.
Multiple
clothing lines.
Right.
The only thing he ain't touched really get into it was movies. He dabbled in it, but he ain't ever really become like a movie guy, like an actor.
He knew it wasn't
still an iconic role though.
Yeah, like he picked up the baton from both Big and Pac as far as like that side. Remember, Pac was already a world-class actor. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, maybe Puff. I can see what Puff is saying, but there's a lot of other guys. Sin is right. There's a lot of other rappers out there, like DMX.
Yeah.
DMX. I remember DMX was the first guy that made people feel the way Pac made them feel when he first started.
That's a fact.
And you could even argue that once Nas got back active in the 2000s, he was the person they was looking at as the beacon for the culture. It wasn't JayZ, especially when JayZ retired. It was Nas, and then you have 50 on the wing with G Unit. There's a lot of guys out west. You still had Snoop as a presence. Game was lit. Game was a guy who was
Game had a run
as something as well. You know what I mean? And even I'm pretty sure Nipsey ain't just show up. Nip was around for a calm 10 years before he became like a household name. So like I can't agree with Puff on that. I would say he is the closest one to quote. If I ain't better than Big, I'm the closest one. In this case, he's the closest one to the both of them. But to say that he filled their shoes, nah, I can't give him that.
Single-handedly,
he's the first
single-footedly, like you said.
Right.
Single-footedly.
He's the first JayZ. I mean, you know what? And I know what they're gonna say in the comments, but we ask you in the chat, in the comment section, tell us what you think. Do you agree with Diddy? Do you disagree with what we said? I know the Truest agrees with Diddy, but everybody else who, you know what I'm saying, like, holla at us. Be nice. As you can see, it's 4 different opinions here. Stop saying y'all. Address the person who you agree or disagree with. Shout out to y'all getting better at it. But if I see too many y'alls in the comments and I get annoyed, because Sin could say one thing and he's not speaking for us. How you going to tell us we said something while we're yelling at Sin for
one guy?
Like, come on. Quick news. A new versus has been announced after that debacle that happened at the boxing event with Onyx and Cypress Hills, a versus nobody asked for and or wanted. Maybe it was like 500 people who might have wanted that versus.
Yeah, man.
But we have matchup,
and they're all on hip hop Twitter. That's really the only place.
This would have been a pandemic main event. I don't know if it's gonna hit as hard in 2022 as it would have during the pandemic, but I think it's gonna do a decent number. UGK versus 8 Ball and MJG. This is the Southern rap that I love. I always call it true South. Like, these guys, they're not making no snap music. They're not making no gimmicky sounding music. They're making like real hip hop with a Southern accent. I always looked at these guys in that vein. I'm excited for this versus, but I don't know if the culture is. Dini, talk to me, bro. What do you think about this particular matchup? How excited or how invested are you in this matchup?
I'm really just sad to see that Pimp C ain't here for this one, man. Right. This is gonna be a big deal. Shout out to Bun B. Like, I wasn't the biggest fan of the whole Southern Midwest shit in the beginning, but he brought me around. I was really a fan of Bun. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good for the culture. They had some big songs. Shout out to MJG and 8 Ball. They had some big records too. It's gonna be good for the spot. You know, this might be one of the more fun verses, I think.
Oh yeah.
This will be more fun.
Thanks.
Talk to me, Mace. What you think, bro?
I'm feeling this verses. You know what I mean? Much better than that Onyx Cypress Hill verses.
No disrespect.
No disrespect.
Now that Sid mentioned it, I haven't even seen any YouTube clips of that. I haven't seen Instagram. Did that even happen?
I've seen a couple.
I don't know.
I swear to God, only a select few on hip hop Twitter was talking about it. That's literally
right.
Some really old gangster shit.
And hip hop Twitter is already like super elite underground.
Right. That shit is Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. I don't believe it really happened.
Oh man,
it did happen, bro. That shit is a fucking shit.
There's no records.
Nah, y'all was fake. Held up a picture. You know what I mean?
You putting it there with the moon landing?
That shit was 74. You heard?
They tried to complain about and try to make some controversy on the back end, but then they was like, it's not Swiss fault, it's not Timberland fault. So whose fault is it, guys? Who are you blaming?
Listen,
somebody signed some checks.
The last time there were rumors and rumblings about having to pay to watch a versus, Swiss stepped in. And he was like, nah, that's not happening. We're not having this. It's going to remain a free platform. Everybody will be able to enjoy it. It's going to be still on IG. You're still going to be able to see it how you've always seen it. I don't know what happened this time. I have no idea. But the fact that it was such a, and no disrespect to Cypress Hill and Onyx, but it's like, this was a very non-event versus. This was a very low card. Look, Sid. It was a low card versus. Sid, and then on top of that.
Wait, Sid, look, I'm throwing you the alley. Look, that's why it was pay-per-view. If you put this on Instagram Live, you'll see how many people are tuning in. If it's on pay-per-view, you can fudge the numbers.
That's fact.
Right, that's true. That's true.
Little shiftsies.
Credit.
Yo, we slandering. Wait, no.
I'm sorry. No disrespect. But look.
Nasty.
Bro.
Nasty
but
word.
yeah, add to it on top of that you have to pay for it. Then it's like who's checking for this? But back to 8 Ball and MJG and UGK. I'm not. Look, New York Bias Part 2 coming soon again.
Thanks.
I'm not gonna act like I'm a huge UGK or 8 Ball and MJG fan of but I understand the cultural relevance. I understand the people from that era and from that region and how they regard these two duos. I think the impact and the cultural relevance of them to their region is bigger than what the Cypress Hill and Onyx thing was supposed to be for New York or for Cali. So in that regard, I think it's going to be a step in the right direction for Versus. It's looking real shaky for the whole platform. So if they get their shit together and they go back to how it was before the paywall, I'll check for it. I'll check for it for sure.
I got a hot take about this Versus. I think this I think this could be like the southern version of what Dipset versus Lox was, as far as like the relevance to that region. How important LOX and Dipset was to the tri-state area.
Yeah,
I view A-Ball and
MJG
and UGK to the south, the dirty south. Be clear, those guys are OGs. They are beacons of the South.
Yes,
in a lot of ways, they open doors for a lot of the younger guys to run through with great music. I mean, for me, like, shout out to Rap City. I didn't know who a lot of these guys was until I had cable and I was watching Rap City, because the local New York music video shows never really used to go that crazy. You might see like that My Mom's Playing Tricks on Me video used to get ran OD on Flavor videos. You might see an occasional West Coast Death Row video here or there. But until I got cable and they started playing the Southern videos, I'm like, oh, they got some bop to it. I became an 8-Ball fan in the mid-2000s when he signed the Bad Boy, and so I started working my way back. Like 8-Ball MVGs, all right, like, niggas. They got they have soul. I was trying to avoid using that word, but they have a lot of soul in their music. And I think that shout out to fucking Houston. To me, I expect a lot of Houston cameos on deck for that verse. You can see a lot of people you haven't seen in a minute. It's gonna, to me, this has a chance to be a good moment, a good feel-good moment. We haven't had one of those in verses in a minute. I'm excited for it. This is gonna be the first verses I truly tapped into since maybe Fat Joe and John. I barely tapped into that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tap in. But like Sin said, New York Bias 2 is on the way. That's what it's all about. Any final words before we wrap this up, fellas?
Hey, I had some words for Diddy before. I have a couple more words for Diddy. Leave Biggie's catalog alone. Let it rest, let it be. I understand you want to celebrate the 50th, what would have been his 50th birthday, but this ain't the way to do it. You know what I mean? More rehashed verses that were better in their original form, in their original song. We don't want to hear Biggie with Ty Dolla $ign. We really don't. I'm sorry.
Right.
I might be speaking for me, but if y'all feel different, let me know. But I'm not trying
keeping the name alive, man.
Right. Now I'm gonna say I got UGK in that verses. Shouts to Bun B, because me and you on the same wave, job. I look at Bun B as the Southern Jada. He got verses with Hov, got verses with Beans. He got verses with 50.
Bun B is a Wayne,
Drake.
Bun B could pull some shit out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
bro.
I'm gonna take UGK for that.
Low key, I remember that joint he did with Webby years ago. Girl, give me that. Like, I was like, wait a minute, why he giving Webby so much bars on this song about chicks? Ain't blacked on that song,
right?
Bro.
Bun got some shit, man. Bun got some shit. So I'm gonna take UGK in that verses for the record.
Say that, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Rap Roundtable. You know, we got, if news breaks, we got to talk about it. We have the Kendrick flop debate that's out right now. We got the Cole versus Kendrick debate that's out right now. We have the Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers reaction that's out right now. Episode 46, Big Steppers is out right now. There's a lot of content. The Hardcore 5 reaction is out right now. There's a lot of things for y'all to tap into.
And 47 coming soon.
47 is loading. You know what I'm saying? We cooking. We not changing times. We not changing routines. We just putting out content for y'all to tap into, and make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends. If y'all got friends that are heads up that like this kind of vibe, here we are. Subscribe. Hit that link, paste it, send it on your little iPhone. If you got an Android, but if you do, you can paste it anyway.
Your green message bar,
whatever advice.
I have a feeling a lot of comments is Android users, so don't send it up too much.
They coming for smoke. We love y'all though.
Yeah, that is.
Listen, Skynet is not coming through the iPhone, so just get an iPhone, bro, okay? I know some of y'all conspiracy theorists, but look, we the Rap Roundtable. We like to make fun of people. We like to make fun of each other, as you can see. Tap it with us. We out.
Peace.
Play the game.
You.